Would you like to learn some very simple techniques that can help you boost your health, your happiness, your energy and your mood quite quickly if you can commit to doing them quite regularly? Hi, this is Wendy Demerick from Natural Woman Network. And I'm really fortunate today because I'm going to be joined by two of our guest inspirers. And between us, we're presenting a 3-part masterclass. And you will be able to, you'll have the link below where you'll be able to get this masterclass. Now, why we're doing this is because we've each of us noticed in our own practices that people are on this sort of spiral of feeling really stressed, and they're listening to the media a lot, and they just can't seem to get themselves back into their grounded space. And if you can't do that all the time, it's very difficult for you to have your best health and happiness. So let me introduce our guest inspirers. Now, Michelle Davidson, come on out.
Hello,
hi, Michelle.
Wendy.
Thank you for being here, Michelle. Michelle's a hypnotherapist with over 10 years behind her belt in very rapid transformations in people's health and well-being. And Michelle is going to be presenting in part 2 of the masterclass. Now, Shelley Obermoser, come on out.
Hi.
Hi, Shelley. Thanks for joining us. Now, Shelley, you're another of our guest inspirers. Now, Shelley has had many years, both as an image and style consultant, but also helping people transition the mindset and lifestyle into the person they want to be. And Shelley's going to present a session about how you can link up your self-image with your mindset and lots of other things. And our focus is to help you to get to relax more and release a lot of what you no longer need from your past, so that you can be more present in the present and not worry too much about the future, because there's a lot that can happen and there's a lot that doesn't need to happen. Let's just focus on the future. So I will be presenting a section on something that some of you, if you've been my patients, might know a little about, but it's actually something I only really teach in the retreats because it requires a lot of practice. But I'm just going to do a little bit of introduction to my framework for living, which is called Activated Deep Personal Ecology, or DPE. So I just want to explain a little bit in the masterclass about why it's so important to have a framework for living. And in this introductory class, I'll just give you the bones of it. So if you want to get the masterclass, jump into the Natural Woman Network Sisterhood. We might even make it a separate masterclass available separately at one point. But at the moment, you can go to the Sisterhood, because not only will you get this masterclass, but you'll get a huge library of other information to keep you feeling your best. Now, ladies, tell me one thing. Let's start with you, Michelle. Now, hypnosis. What is it that drew you into being a practicing hypnotherapist?
I read about it. I've had some of my own experiences, and I was really ready to help more people. And I went and did some training and really enjoyed it. I had a great teacher that really encouraged me to open up my own clinic.
Okay,
yes.
Okay. Thank you. What has been the biggest benefit that you find for your clients with hypnotherapy?
It makes whatever they're desiring achievable in a really easy, quick way.
That's pretty succinct. So, Shelley, what made you basically you transformed your own life and your own business from image consulting, and you've blended that with life skills and mindset? What made you do that?
I think think it was just the realization that a lot of people were focusing on externals and it still didn't bring the results that they were after, the contentment, the peace of mind, the peace with themselves. And so I recognized that it was more of an internal mindset issue that needed to be addressed and to get a more sustainable result.
Okay. So what is the biggest benefit you find for people who you help to blend their image, their self-image, with their most productive mindset?
I think just having the daily tools and skills to understand that our best life is produced by analysing our thoughts of who we are and who we think we are and who we think we're not really sets up the framework for our life. And so just being aware of those thoughts and how they're guiding what we're creating in our life, that's the biggest tool that this sort of work offers.
Okay. I think we've got a wonderful masterclass for women, and it's for women of all ages. So in the masterclass, you'll find a wonderfully relaxing and releasing hypnotherapy session with Michelle. I did it with her. It was amazing. And you'll also find a session with Shelley where we delve into, what is self-image and how to match it up a bit. And with my deep personal ecology framework, that's been developed over 30 years of study and clinical practice, because I found very early in my clinical practice that unless people were able to join the dots between all part of themselves and look at their health much more holistically, rather than just having this herb or this nutrient or doing this diet or whatever, it really, mind, body, spirit has to be integrated at every level. And that's what deep personal ecology is. It also goes into the terrain of the soul, but that's for the more advanced learner, where I teach about lots of things to do with energy and so on. But at this level of understanding, what I will be presenting is my symbology for deep personal ecology, and how to look for signs that you might not be really connected. You might have a little bit too much emphasis on one area and not enough on another, and how the sacred feminine and the wise masculine come into that, and how it comes from a place of heart or soul. And I use this symbology and this framework for everything I do in my life. I don't just use it with patients, I use it for myself, but I also use it when I'm doing community events and so on. And it might then become people, place and project, so that it takes the personal out of it and everyone can work together at that level. So what we would like you to get, well, tell me, Michelle, what would you like people to achieve from your hypnotherapy session?
You've got this wonderful title for our masterclass, Wendy, and hypnotherapy can help with all those points that you bring up, which is your health, your energy, your mood, and the mindset to create all of those things and to improve on all of those things. And so we might be targeting one area with your mindset, and it would be around self-care, where so many women, there's a self-sabotage, and sometimes we don't know where that's coming from, and we don't need to know where it's coming from. But to ignite your own mindset for self-care so that your inner wisdom is ignited, we adjust your tastes, your desires, your cravings for your best health. And however your own mind will interpret that will be the mystery that you'll discover.
Yes, so everyone will experience it differently. And it's a really simple but very powerful session that you do. I think it's about 20 minutes, is that right, that you do?
Yes.
In this session?
Yeah, about 20 minutes. And so it's
I was walking on clouds afterwards. I felt so wonderful. So, and I'm sure that, you know, the women in the sisterhood are going to feel the same. And Shelley, what about you? What do you want women to take home and practice from your session that can really benefit them if they're consistent with it?
Just the knowledge that doing it in work and developing your own behavioral flexibility is a very empowering and strengthening thing to be able to do, that you can actually gain a lot of, release a lot of anxiety when you take control for yourself, and to understand a few tools that are really, you know, really functional, practical tools that you can use in every day to get back a little bit of control.
Okay, that sounds great. And one thing that I've noticed over the decades and thousands of patients is that the people who are consistent with what they're doing, if they want to transform their life and their experience, because it's not just about your health, even though we focus a lot on health and well-being, it's also about, you know, you're developing yourself personally at a personal development level. And whenever you do that, it actually drives every other area of your life, you know. And I've had many people say to me, oh, you know, how did you have the success you have in your field? And I say, well, I actually just keep working on myself all the time, because that becomes the vehicle that everything else, you know, gets carried on. So what we'd all like you to really do in this masterclass is make a commitment to yourself to actually do a daily practice of what we're presenting with you. It's not going to be difficult, but just set aside a bit of time, because I do know, and I can tell you, that after all these years, the people that commit to a regular practice do transform. You know, their whole lives can be very different. And the greatest reason for people not achieving what they want in life, whether it's better health, weight loss, fixing up menopause or period problems, or their relationship problems, or their work success, whatever it is, it takes consistent effort. And I know the people that don't do that, it just doesn't happen. Would you agree with that, ladies?
For
And
sure.
that's what this is about, isn't it? It's just encouraging each other to keep going and keep doing the things that serve us the best.
I agree. And it's actually more than encouraging. We're providing you with the tools. You're the boss of self. So we'd like to encourage you to use the tools, but ultimately it's up to you. And we'd love to get your feedback. When you're in the sisterhood, you can actually jump into the private Facebook group that we have. And that's where, you know, you can meet other women and you can give your feedback and ask questions and so on. I'll put the link to the sisterhood below this, because when this is launched, which is going to be in the next week or so, we're in mid-August, it's going to be the first section, the first part, and then 2 weeks later will be the second part, and then 2 weeks after that is part 3. Because if we put it all up at once, you're not actually probably going to practice each part enough. Just get used to it and observe yourself. So, oh, sorry, the wind's just got up here. So we look forward to seeing you on the inside. And I'm so excited to be working with 2 wonderful guest inspirers. Thank you very much for coming on board.
Thank you, Wendy. And thank you, Shelley.
Okay, we'll see you around. Bye.